Angry at what Subai had done to Huang Zixuan, Zixuan became furious and charged at Subai, wielding both his fire and ice swords. He swung his swords, striking at Subai with flames and frost. However, when the attack reached Subai, he had already moved, leaving only an afterimage that was struck instead. Mocking Zixuan, Subai sneered, "Too disappointing." Using his super speed, Subai appeared behind Zixuan and taunted him. "Is this all the strength the prodigies of Martial University have?" Before Zixuan could react, Subai delivered a solid fire-infused punch that sent Zixuan flying through the air. While Zixuan soared, Subai gathered energy in his feet and mocked him again, saying, "As Martial University's prodigy, why don't you fight back? You're just taking hits like this." With that, Subai leapt into the air and used both hands to launch a powerful attack. Seeing Subai charging with full force, Zixuan panicked and raised both swords to defend himself. Yet Subai didn't slow down. With overwhelming power, he punched Zixuan again, declaring, "You're too boring." The impact of Subai's attack was devastating, unleashing an explosion that shook the entire stadium. When the smoke cleared, Subai stood triumphantly over Zixuan. Mocking him once more, Subai grinned, "I love beating prodigies the most." As Subai pressed his foot against Zixuan's face, Zixuan's rage boiled over. Shouting, "Subai, I'll kill you!" He did something that surprised everyone. Flames erupted from his sword, engulfing his entire body. Subai quickly jumped back, but his shoes were scorched in the process. While extinguishing the flames, Subai mocked Zixuan again, saying, "You don't have much skill, but you've got quite a temper." Meanwhile, Zixuan's anger spiraled out of control. Enraged, he unleashed his violent state fire, a technique that consumed his own body in flames. With a burst of fire tearing apart his clothes, Zixuan roared, vowing to kill Subai. Seeing this, one of Subai's seniors anxiously asked their principal, "Has Subai gone too far with his taunts? Could this attack from Zixuan be dangerous?" The shocked principal replied, "For Zixuan to use such a powerful move, he's lost control." With his body ablaze, Zixuan leapt into the air, screaming that he would take Subai's life. Seeing him charge forward, Subai didn't attempt to dodge. Instead, he smirked. Finally, something interesting. With full force, Zixuan struck at Subai, but his sword couldn't even touch him. Subai had activated his Great Wall Barrier, a defensive skill from his Little Turtle ability, which completely blocked Zixuan's attack. Shocked, Zixuan shouted, "Impossible, no one can block my twin swords." He then asked Subai, "Were you a turtle in your past life?" Laughing, Subai prepared to strike back. "Is that all you've got?" he sneered. Using his little cat speed, Subai delivered a powerful punch to Zixuan's face, sending him flying back into the sky. The force of the impact knocked Zixuan's swords from his hands. With a heavy crash, Zixuan hit the ground, his swords landing far from him. The judges of the match were stunned. One of them exclaimed, "I can't believe Subai possesses such a terrifying killing move." Another judge added, "The most shocking part is that their fight actually cracked the golden level arena. This is the terror of the primordial flow." Watching Subai's powerful presence reminded the judges of Luofan from the past. "And Subai is only at mid-bronze rank," one judge murmured. "His talent? It might be even scarier than those from elite families." While the judges discussed this, Subai bent down and picked up Zixuan's swords. Examining them, he remarked, "These two swords look quite valuable." Seeing this, Zixuan, still dazed and fearful, shouted, "What are you doing? Put them down! Those are my twin swords!" But Subai wasn't going to let it go. He told Zixuan that after seeing how Imperial Martial University behaved, he knew they definitely wouldn't apologize or compensate for their actions. So, Subai declared that these two swords would be considered compensation from Imperial Martial University. Hearing this, Zixuan became furious. Like a beast, he lunged at Subai, shouting, "This is too much! I will kill you!" But Subai easily dodged Zixuan's attack and taunted him. "Do you still think you have the strength for that?" Without hesitation, Subai kicked Zixuan in the face, telling him he was overestimating himself. With just one solid kick, Subai broke Zixuan's nose and sent him flying. Subai was furious. How dare Imperial Martial University try to bully the students of Jiangzhou Martial University? Without giving Zixuan a chance to recover, Subai leapt at him once again. Zixuan barely managed to stand, but Subai relentlessly punched and kicked him, shouting that this was his punishment on behalf of Jiangzhou Martial University. The audience watched in shock as Zixuan lay helpless, unable to resist. They couldn't believe Subai's sheer dominance, speed, strength, technique. He had no apparent weakness. People started wondering if anyone in Martial University could even stand a chance against him. A girl in the crowd remarked, "I think only Hanzan might be able to match this monster Subai." Although some people felt bad for Zixuan's condition, their anger toward Imperial Martial University still burned strong. They cheered for Subai, hoping this would humble Imperial Martial University and curb their arrogance. The students of Jiangzhou Martial University erupted in joy, shouting, "See? This is the price of provoking Jiangzhou Martial University." In the arena, Subai finally stopped after venting his frustration. Once satisfied and calm, he stepped back. The host then announced, "This round's winner is Jiangzhou Martial University's Subai." After the match ended, Subai calmed down and suddenly noticed Hanzan staring at him. Subai had sensed Hanzan's watchful gaze from the beginning, like a hawk observing its prey. When Hanzan saw Subai looking back, he smiled and said, "Jiangzhou Subai, I'll be waiting for you." Subai didn't hear him clearly and began leaving the arena, still examining Zixuan's swords. He thought to himself that since Zixuan had been so anxious about them, these swords must be quite valuable. As Subai was leaving, someone suddenly stopped him. It was the Imperial Martial University principal. "The match is over," the principal said. "You should return Zixuan's weapons to Martial University." But Subai casually slung the swords onto his back and replied, "The referee just said the arena is the battlefield, so weapons seized on the battlefield don't have to be returned." He then smiled and added, "But I'm not unreasonable. If Imperial Martial University apologizes to Jiangzhou Martial University, apologizes to all the ordinary martial academies they've bullied, and compensates for medical expenses and mental distress, then I'll return these swords." Hearing Subai's demands, the contestants of the competition erupted in support, shouting that Martial University had gone too far and must apologize. The crowd's chants grew louder, demanding Imperial Martial University to apologize. Outraged, the Imperial Martial University principal barked, "This is outrageous." But Subai didn't back down. He calmly asked, "Isn't this the survival of the fittest philosophy that your Martial University believes in? I'm just treating you the same way you treat others." Hearing that, Subai's principal became excited and shouted, "Subai, well said. Let's see how Martial University saves face this time. Let's see if they dare to act arrogant again." Hearing this, Imperial Martial University's principal, a diamond rank hunter, became furious and unleashed his powerful aura. Enraged, he walked towards Subai, declaring that today he would teach this immature brat a lesson. Seeing the Imperial University principal release his aura, Subai's principal grew worried and urged Subai to move away quickly. Meanwhile, the military university principal, who was also a diamond rank warrior, became furious when he saw the Imperial University principal about to attack a student. In the arena, Subai began to back away, shocked by the overwhelming power of a diamond rank warrior. So this is the explosive power of a diamond rank. It's so strong, he thought. But before the Imperial University principal could strike, the military university principal and Subai's principal leapt into the arena. The military university principal confronted the Imperial University principal, asking, "As a dignified Martial University principal and a diamond rank expert, don't you feel ashamed unleashing your full power on a student?" Still enraged, the Imperial University principal barked back, "This is Magic City. Martial University has autonomy here, so military university shouldn't interfere." Hearing this, Subai's principal became furious and warned, "If you dare harm a Jiangzhou Martial University student, I'll fight you to the death." While they were arguing, a sudden bolt of lightning struck between them. Instantly, all the principals withdrew their auras and turned to look at the source. They saw a white-haired man floating in the sky. Zhao Yi, a Lord-level expert ranked 6th among the most powerful individuals. Seeing him, the Imperial University principal grew nervous and backed away, addressing him anxiously, "Elder Zhao." Elder Zhao descended to the ground, disappointment evident in his expression. "It's only been a few years since I left Imperial Martial University. Elder Zhao said sternly, "and you've already turned it into this chaotic mess." His gaze sharpened as he added, "To think you'd even attack a junior, what face do you have? What face do you have to remain the principal of Imperial Martial University when such outstanding talents are emerging from the younger generation?" The Imperial University principal stood silent, unable to respond in front of Elder Zhao. Turning to Subai, Elder Zhao said, "Young man from Jiangzhou Martial University, I watched your match. You were very impressive." On behalf of Imperial Martial University, Elder Zhao apologized to all martial arts institutions. Subai was surprised to see a Lord-level hunter apologizing to him. He told Elder Zhao, "You're too kind." Elder Zhao smiled faintly and said, "Our school's motto at Imperial Martial University is that only the strong can protect the peace of the nation. The strongest should be like the great Lo Fan. Possessing supreme power yet failing to protect peace is a grave mistake." Elder Zhao continued, "In recent years, Imperial Martial University has neglected the responsibility and duty that those who cultivate strength should uphold, and that's a serious failure. In this match, Imperial Martial University lost to Jiangzhou Martial University without a doubt, so those two swords will rightfully belong to Subai." Hearing this, Subai and the others were overjoyed. The Military Martial University principal praised Elder Zhao, saying, "Your generosity is truly admirable, Mr. Zhao." Suddenly, Subai respectfully thanked Elder Zhao, saying, "As a junior, I'm grateful for your teachings." But the Imperial Martial University principal still didn't want to let go of those swords and tried to say something to Elder Zhao. However, without listening to him, Elder Zhao interrupted and told the Imperial Martial University principal, "With such an impatient temperament, you can't be the principal of Imperial Martial University, you should just be an instructor." Saying that, Elder Zhao left the arena. Then, the host appeared on the big screen and announced that the school would repair the arena and the finals of the league would begin in 1 hour. Hearing this, the entire audience became very excited, saying, "Jiangzhou Martial University is really making people see them in a new light this year, and Subai is probably the dark horse of this year's league." On the other hand, after their victory, Subai and his principal left the arena. All of Subai's seniors praised him, saying he had done well and restored the dignity of Jiangzhou Martial University. They were all proud of him. Feeling embarrassed, Subai asked everyone not to praise him too much, admitting that he had been terrified just now. Subai's principal was also very happy. Seeing that even Elder Zhao had appeared, he proudly said that today, Jiangzhou Martial University could finally hold its head high. While they were talking, one of Subai's seniors approached and informed their principal that the next match would be against Great Wall Guard Martial University. Hearing that, Subai's principal told Subai to take a rest, saying, "It's already unexpected that we've made it to the finals, so now we should just do our best." Hearing this, Subai smiled and told his principal, "There's no need to rest." He then asked, "Since I've won glory for Jiangzhou Martial University today, do you think I could get some rewards?" Subai's principal chuckled and said, "You little rascal, you really know how to take advantage of a situation. I have 2 high-grade silver beast cores here. I'll personally give them to you." Hearing this, Subai thanked his principal, promising that he would definitely perform well. 1 hour later, the host announced, "The highly anticipated 100 Schools League Finals is about to officially begin." The whole audience erupted in excitement. Some people cheered for Hanzan, while others shouted that Jiangzhou Martial University would win. Moments later, Hanzan from Great Wall Guard Martial University and Subai from Jiangzhou Martial University entered the arena. Holding his long spear, Hanzan looked at Subai and said, "I've been waiting for you for a long time. Let's have one match to decide the victor. What do you say?" Subai immediately agreed, saying, "That's exactly what I was thinking." Knowing that Hanzan was very powerful, Subai asked his system to help him scout Hanzan's attributes. Immediately, a system notification window popped up in front of Subai, displaying Hanzan's information. Hanzan is currently an early silver stage hunter with a constitution of 316, but his actual constitution is unknown. His agility is 216, but his actual agility is also unknown. His spirit is 96. After analyzing the data, the system warned Subai to be extremely cautious. Seeing Hanzan's stats, Subai muttered, "As expected." "Hanzan, your strength is extraordinary." But while Subai was still examining the status window, Hanzan suddenly charged at him, shouting, "Subai, what are you waiting for? Fight me like a warrior!" Seeing Hanzan rushing in with such force, Subai unleashed his power by activating Sharp Metal Spirit, Sharp Metal Phantom, and Earth Spirit Possession skills. After buffing himself, Subai got ready to attack, telling Hanzan that he would now show his true power. Hanzan moved quickly and struck at Subai with his spear, but using his incredible speed, Subai dodged the strikes and attacked from all directions, taunting Hanzan to show his full power. Subai continued to evade while landing hits on Hanzan. However, Subai was surprised to see that Hanzan was matching his speed. This was exactly what Subai had expected. Hanzan wasn't being straightforward. He had actually been holding back during his fight with Wang Yang. Even the judges were surprised. Hanzan hadn't displayed this level of speed when he fought Wang Yang last time. They quickly realized that Hanzan had been hiding his true strength even in that match. One judge commented, "I previously thought Hanzan's speed was his weakness, but looking at him now, it's clear that he has no weaknesses in speed, power, or defense. Hanzan is truly an unrivaled force among the younger generation." Another judge added, "Unless Hanzan is overwhelmed by someone with far superior cultivation, there's no chance of victory. It seems Jiangzhou Martial University will only reach second place. Subai can't possibly be Hanzan's match." Ignoring their words, Subai attempted to punch Hanzan, but to his surprise, Hanzan easily dodged his punch and mockingly said, "That's still far from enough." Hanzan then used this opportunity to launch a counterattack, but Subai quickly backed away, putting some distance between them. Subai praised Hanzan, saying, "As expected of a man who's fought on the Myriad Races battlefield completely without weaknesses." But then Subai smiled while dodging Hanzan's spear and confidently told him, "You definitely won't be able to dodge my next move." Subai warned Hanzan to prepare for his most vicious attack. Not powerful, but extremely fatal to the body. To everyone's shock, Subai aimed a punch directly at Hanzan's vital area. The audience erupted in laughter, with some shouting that Subai's move was dirty and despicable, yet effective. Some people cheered for Subai, calling him awesome and saying they admired no one but him. Others were outraged, questioning whether such an attack was against the rules. However, some spectators defended Subai, saying, "What rules? The deputy commander said this is a real battle. Winning is all that matters." After being hit in such a vulnerable spot, Hanzan's whole body froze. Trembling in pain, he asked Subai, "Why resort to such a shameless attack?" Subai laughed and replied, "The arena is like a battlefield." Taking advantage of Hanzan's weakened state, Subai leapt forward to strike again. Hanzan tried to block with his hands, but Subai's punch was so strong that it sent Hanzan flying. This made Hanzan angry. He stood up and warned Subai, "Now, I'm getting serious." Hanzan released his aura and raised his spear, declaring, "I've tested this move many times. You won't be able to dodge it either." With that, Hanzan swung his spear, unleashing hundreds of powerful energy strikes at Subai. The attacks were too fast and too numerous for Subai to dodge. Realizing this, Subai put his sword away and said, "Since I can't dodge it, let's clash." Meanwhile, the judges were stunned to see that Hanzan had actually mastered this technique, Grand General Han's signature move. One judge recalled, 3 years ago, Grand General Han annihilated thousands of fierce beasts in an instant. Among those enemies were a diamond rank and several platinum rank warriors from other races. On the other hand, in the arena, to defend against Hanzan's attack, Subai activated his Great Wall barrier. However, when Hanzan's continuous strikes hit Subai's barrier, it started to crack. While using his full energy to maintain the barrier, Subai realized that Hanzan was truly going for the kill. Unfortunately, Subai's energy wasn't enough, and his barrier was ultimately destroyed, sending him flying across the arena. After breaking Subai's barrier, Hanzan pointed his spear at him and demanded, "Show me your full power, Subai. I don't believe you're this weak." When Subai fell, a senior from his team anxiously asked the principal if Subai had lost. The worried principal replied, "No one could withstand such a powerful attack." But to their surprise, Subai stood up once again. Reaching into his bag, Subai unzipped it and said to Hanzan, "You forced me to do this." Raising his arm, Subai called out to his little turtle and little cat, asking them to come out and help him defeat Hanzan. Both little turtle and little cat emerged from the bag and activated their ancient beast forms. Seeing this, Hanzan smirked and said, "Very good, Subai, you've finally shown your full power." Subai activated his energy once again, and together with Little Turtle and Little Cat, he charged at Hanzan, shouting, "Old Han, you're finished!" Subai attempted to kick Hanzan first, but Hanzan swiftly dodged the attack. Next, Little Cat leaped forward, striking with its claws. Hanzan blocked the attack with his spear, but Subai's assault didn't end there. While Hanzan was busy defending against Little Cat, Little Turtle launched a powerful strike. The impact was so intense that Hanzan's armor cracked and shattered, sending him flying. Half of Hanzan's gold-grade body armor was now destroyed, but once again, Hanzan stood up. Subai warned him, "Don't be stubborn. There's no shame in admitting defeat." However, Hanzan refused to give up. Gripping his spear with his other hand, he released a surge of energy and said, "I didn't want to use this move. I still can't fully control this power, but now I have no choice." With that, Hanzan unleashed his full power. The purple energy radiating from his body surged so fiercely that it reached the stadium ceiling. Subai was shocked by Hanzan's power and asked, "Is he even human?" Feeling a hint of fear, Subai wondered if this was really gold rank power. It was far too terrifying. Suddenly, a system warning notification appeared in front of Subai, alerting him that his opponent was extremely dangerous. As Hanzan's eyes turned purple, he laughed ominously and declared, "Subai, you're destined to lose this round."